Welcome back to Raptors Reflection. We're in the 35th week of the NBA season, and the Toronto Raptors are currently sitting at 46-32. With only 2 games left in the regular season, the Raptors are hoping to tie their franchise best in victories. This year, the goals for the Toronto Raptors were to clinch the Atlantic Division title and qualify for the playoffs, and we've done both of those things. So, with the playoffs right around the corner, we're just going to do a year in review, talk about the good things, the bad things, the first half of the season, the second half of the season, our MVPs, Kyle Lowry winning the All-Star game. There's so much storylines for this Raptor season. I'm wondering if we can fit it all into this episode. So, this week's guests, we have Raptor Monk and Raptor Elder.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salinkum salam, my brother. So, guys, the first half of the NBA season, the Toronto Raptors in first place. I think at one time they were 20 games over 500. What changed from the first half of the season into the second half?
Injuries, first and foremost. DeMar DeRozan went down with an injury. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, that's a big chunk of the offense that was missing. And it just seemed, he took a while when he came back from injury, he took a while to really get back to where he was before he got injured.
Mm. With the season almost being finished, do you think he's reached that same level, or
yes,
is he's back?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think he'll drive the Raptors in the playoffs to, pick up and succeed. I think he has a sense of hunger to him, because I think he's still pretty, upset about last year when they lost to Brooklyn. And he took the last shot, from what I remember, in that playoff series.
Kyle Lowry took the last shot.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, and he was blocked. Paul Pierce blocked him or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
So, my next question is, what are the Raptors going to have to change going into the playoffs?
I think they need to figure out how they are going to their defensive schemes. They're not a good defensive team. They're also not a very good rebounding team. So you can only mask your weaknesses so much because you're limited to your players. Their big men aren't great rebounders, and they don't have a lot of great perimeter defenders. So they're gonna have to do it through schemes and just I don't know, masking the deficiencies through strategy.
Yeah,
those are the 2 biggest weaknesses.
Yeah, and they need to just try and stay healthy, man. If they can stay healthy, then they will make it past the first round without a doubt.
Yeah.
So right now the Raptors are currently sitting in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Their record is 46-32, and if the season ended today, they'd be facing the Washington Wizards. Do you think the Wizards are going to be an issue for them in the playoffs? Is there going to be like a secret punch behind them?
The Wizards are a veteran team. They have Paul Pierce. They have Nene. They also have a lot of talent in Bradley Beal and John Wall. So they pose a threat. The Raptors swept them this year. So the Raptors, I would expect the Raptors to win, although it would probably be a very competitive series.
Yeah.
So the advantage to me of playing the Wizards is 2 things. One, I think, like I said, they have a proven track record in beating them. And 2, you get into the second round, instead of playing Cleveland, you're playing Atlanta, which
that's a team they struggled with.
They did. Mm-hmm. I think that they struggled with both Atlanta and Cleveland.
Yeah.
But Cleveland would sweep them, in my opinion. I think they would stand a better chance against Atlanta. That's just that's my opinion.
I don't know what happened with Cleveland. At the start of the season, they were one team, and then miraculously they got all these trades in their favor.
Yeah.
And now they're like a superpower team.
Now they're playing.
They surpassed the Raptors.
Yeah.
And they seem like the team to beat in the East right
division
now.
The other day, so
they clinched second seed. They got Timothy Mozgov, which really helped their interior defense and their rebounding.
Who did they trade to get Mozgov? Like a couple beans and
I think they traded future
consideration.
I believe so. I can't remember.
Because Mozgov, especially for Orlando Magic, going through their growing pains right now, he seemed like a permanent figure that was going to be in their lineup. So for me, it seems strange that they just let him go for a future when he is the future.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about most valuable player. So far, in the season, who would you say is the Raptors' MVP?
That's a really good question. I would say Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry.
And why did you choose Kyle Lowry?
Just the way he plays with a lot of heart, and he made the All-Star team, and he's just the leader on the team, man. He's just always forming nice plays. He makes a lot of game-winning shots for them. So I would say Kyle Lowry is the one.
And Raptor Monk?
I agree. Kyle Lowry, this team would be in a lot of trouble without him. When DeMar DeRozan went down with the injury, he carried the team. I believe they were playing really well for maybe 10 games or so after the injury, and obviously they slowed down. But he carried the team. He was the best point guard in the Eastern Conference in the first half of the season.
No doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah. So it's him. It's him.
Okay. So the last couple of months, we've noticed Dwayne Casey's been sticking with a certain particular lineup, and there's been a couple of players that have been getting virtually no playing time. The Landry Fields, what's that other tall blonde fellow's name? Greg Steamer.
Stiesma.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a fancy Ukrainian name. I'm not sure, but it's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Which Raptor do you think will not be a part of the team next season, and why?
Landry Fields. He's a free agent, and he can't really contribute. He can't make unless maybe someone takes him on for the veteran minimum. But even still, he can't shoot. Right? I mean, the bottom line, he's just. I don't see him. He may not even be in the league next year, much less with the Raptors.
I can kind of see I think San Antonio Spurs, for some reason, I get this feeling that they could maximize Landry Fields' talent, but I'm not 100% sure.
You think he'd be a good for San Antonio?
It's the system. It's their system. I mean, they turned Matt Bonner into nobody into.
You got a good point. You got a good point there. Yeah.
The problem is with him, you're playing 4-on-5 on offense.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, the defense can just lay off him and double team whoever because he doesn't pose a threat on the perimeter. Right, and he isn't really great at creating his own shot off the dribble either, and penetrating. And he doesn't like James Johnson. Is the same issue. He's not a good shooter, but there's certain things he can defend well. Landry can defend well, but James Johnson can score in the post and can offer other things. But Landry feels he's just
okay. So I want to take it into another direction. The Toronto Raptors, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? They're in a good financial position. They don't have long, high contracts. They have a lot of cap space available to them. Who do you think the Raptors are going to be trying to go for in the next season or the next two seasons?
That's a good question.
I think they're gonna go for. They're going to try to get a power forward, a better power forward on the team. I like Amir Johnson. I think
I love Amir Johnson.
He's a
good player, but I think for this team to win a championship, this team needs a better power forward.
So do you think?
Sorry, go on.
Do you think Amir Johnson is going to make the team next year?
Yeah,
I think so. I think this is the contract year for him. I think this is last year.
I think they will sign him back.
Yeah.
What type of numbers do you think they're going to throw at him? 2 years, 3 years?
I could see it 2 years.
$3 million a season, $6 million. I think he makes $5 million a season now.
Yeah, that number's going down. That's probably maybe $3 million over 3-4 years. Who knows?
If the Raptors do re-sign Amir Johnson, is he going to be a starter?
No. Well, hopefully not. If Masai Ujiri, I think if Masai Ujiri had his way, Amir Johnson would not be the starting power forward for the Toronto Raptors. Another position that I think he wants to address is a 3. Terrence Ross. At this point, the Raptors, their starting 3 position is also a very weak point of the team.
That was my next question. Terrence Ross, he started his career winning the slam dunk competition.
Yep.
Saved the Raptors a bunch of times with big threes, and he's had series of highlight dunks, but he's kind of hitting a low point.
He's very cold right now, man.
Do you think the Raptors are going to be patient with him, or do you think he's going to be on the move?
To be
What's
honest,
the future
I
of-
think they're going to be patient with him. I think they're going to give him another chance for next season to see if he can improve.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't pick it up, I can see him, leaving.
Do you see the Raptors making him a part of a package deal in a trade, or do you see him just being not re-signed?
In a package deal, I could see that happening. If he doesn't pick it up.
So we've seen the West pretty much dominant over the East this year.
Yes, the West is crazy. The Golden State Warriors alone, man.
It's really insane to see what they're doing. So I wanted to say, who did you guys think is the MVP of the NBA this year?
Steph Curry. I think he deserves it because he broke a record for most 3-pointers made in the season.
Yeah, I believe it was his own record he beat.
Yeah, and also he's just making Golden State a better team. He's just leading the pack right now.
Yeah, they're the best team by far in the best conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why he would be a strong candidate. I think James Harden obviously is also a very strong candidate as well. Unfortunately, his team isn't as good as record-wise as Golden State, but I think you have to take into consideration they were missing Dwight Howard, they missed Terrence Jones for a good period of the year.
They have been riddled with injuries,
and they still kept afloat, and it's primarily because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think Dwight Howard is continuing his ways and being that team cancer?
Well,
he kind of has like
I
an
can't
attitude
call him
problem.
a cancer. He's been out for practically the whole season, man.
It's hard to say when you're injured, right?
Yeah, so I won't give him that.
Yeah.
I won't say that about
We saw
him.
how he left Orlando.
That was brutal.
We saw his time in the Clippers.
No, Lakers.
Sorry, the Lakers. Sorry.
Yeah, and that was terrible because I love the Lakers and he disrespected, man. But I won't even get into that.
Because I mean, Houston Rockets are a great team, like we mentioned. James Harden, MVP candidate. The West is a really hard division to play in.
Mm-hmm.
Should they be higher? Is Dwight Howard the reason? I mean, what could we attribute it to? Just being the West being so powerful, or can we place
West is
direct
powerful.
blame on Dwight Howard?
No, not this year.
He's been injured, right?
Yeah,
so
it's not his fault.
they haven't been able to really get into a rhythm and establish. Like, you can't really gauge how good they really are until they have their full roster available, right? Healthy. So I don't know if when he comes back, I believe he's supposed to be coming back for the playoffs. We'll see what they can do, but I can't place the blame on him, right, for their season.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank my guests, Raptor Elder and Raptor Monk, for joining us on another episode of Raptor Reflection. It's just getting started. The playoffs are just around the corner, so we're going to have lots to talk about in the next coming weeks and the next coming months. And let's hope the Raptors go deep in the playoffs. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.